Not very long. I don't know when that door would close as far as when I'll retire, but I don't have much time left.
Thanks, LJ.
Yep.
So I wanted to get this video out earlier, but yeah, that happened, and that was pretty much the only thing people were talking about for a good while. I mean, rightfully so. But now that things have cooled down, slightly, I feel like now is an okay time to talk about this. So despite the fact that I make basketball videos on the internet, I've never actually been to a basketball game until last summer. Before the 2024 Paris Olympics officially started, Team USA held a showcase with Serbia and Australia at Etihad Arena. And I was there. And it was insane. Getting to see all of these superstar players for the first time in real life was so cool, and granted, we were sitting really far away from the court because we bought our tickets late, but even so, you could really tell just how talented these NBA guys are, especially compared to the international competition they were up against. Except Jokic, obviously, because he was there, and he was dominating, as usual. But everything that I had seen on YouTube and Stream East, NBA League Pass, up to that point, translated. And I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it really does give you an appreciation for what these guys do. Now, at the beginning of every game when they were announcing each country's lineups, every time a big superstar like Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum's name was called up, the stadium would erupt. But when I tell you it was nothing compared to when LeBron was announced, bro.
Number 6, LeBron James.
And it's not for no reason either. He has, for a large majority of his 20-plus year-long career, been one of, if not the best player in the NBA, without question. Watching him play in person, even as he was nearing 40 years old at the time, was a justification of that dominance in my mind. Dude was getting to the rim at will, conducting the offense, being a leader, and setting the example. Like, there's no question that this guy is that guy. And yet, for many people, that sentiment isn't enough to be wholly appreciated. LeBron has averaged 27, 7, and 7 for his entire career, won 4 championships, 4 MVPs, is a perennial all-star and all-NBA guy, broke the all-time scoring record, and yet for some reason, the main conversation around James' achievements is always, but he's not greater than Jordan. And then ensues the magnification of his shortcomings. NBA fans today are the most educated they have ever been, thanks to everything being highly accessible on the internet, but I also think that it has become a detriment to appreciating good basketball. You can immediately check the box score after a game and pick out who shot the worst percentage-wise in a loss. You can go on Wikipedia and compare accolades between all-time legends. You can even go on StatMuse and literally use AI to compare the most niche advanced statistics and scrutinize greatness at the most microscopic level. And all of this is then weaponized into advanced criticisms of NBA talent in news articles, conversations on big sports channels, podcasts, and comment sections. I bring this up because even though most of this talk stuff is just talk and it's not really indicative or consequential of the quality of basketball we get to see at the highest level, I mean, LeBron isn't going to scroll through a YouTube comment section and cry because some dude called him trash. It does sour the experience somewhat as a fan of the game. My uncle watches basketball TikToks on his phone from time to time. Now, hold on a minute. Just wait, because I promise this has a point. He isn't what you would call a traditional basketball fan. He just consumes the game casually and follows a handful of guys he really likes, such as Steph Curry. If you were to go into any of these TikTok comment sections and read some of the more negatively oriented responses, regardless of how accurate they are, it would definitely impact how he perceives his favorite players. And that's not a good thing. What happens is we as fans get so sucked into the analysis of the sport that we completely omit and neglect what brings us to the game in the first place. Not just for ourselves, but even those outside of the circle of diehard watchers of the NBA. We're here because we want to watch great basketball. Our ongoing plight to break down the game and its players to its most fundamental parts for argumentative purposes gets in the way of that. And I'm not saying that we should just throw analytics in the garbage because that's dumb, but what I'm saying is that these things should be more contextualized. It seems most discussions nowadays always happen in a vacuum. Let's get it straight. There is no basketball organization in the world that produces and harbors more great players in the NBA, and there is no player right now in the league that embodies greatness like LeBron James. We have watched this guy go from a highly touted high school prospect to getting drafted to an absolutely horrendous franchise and carrying them to the finals, to going back-to-back in Miami, returning to his hometown to make good on his promise by surmounting the greatest regular season team of all time, and then switch to an entirely different conference and prove that he is still the best. Doing all of that while stuffing the stat sheet and accumulating more trophies than he probably has room for in his damn house. LeBron has redefined what sustained excellence looks like in the NBA. He set records that may never be broken, elevated every team he's been on, and given us some of the most unforgettable moments in basketball history. LeBron's career has been a masterclass in greatness, something we've been lucky to be able to witness in real time. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what LeBron has done over the course of his NBA tenure, but I do want to impart a mindset onto you. We as fans almost always look back at the greats of the past fondly, often overlooking what they didn't manage to accomplish and celebrating what they did. LeBron, as a result of his utterly ridiculous longevity, still has to wait before people see him that way. Do not wait to appreciate what this guy has done. Celebrate it now. While this old man is still out here cooking on a nightly basis, appreciate it, because it's going to be a very, very long time before we ever see anyone like him in the league again.
With the first pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.